Welcome to another episode of the Rankum Podcast. I'm Garrett Seawright. Thanks for making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, where we're sporting special winter headgear today for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Other than I bought this yesterday and I wanted to wear it.
Yeah, so Don's got a winter hat, and I didn't want to feel left out, so I threw on my Ninja Turtle hat that friend of the podcast, Wes and Tori Horseman, bought me for my wedding. It's
nice.
It's part of my wedding gift. Yeah,
so that anniversary is coming up here shortly.
It is a couple weeks, but I got me a Donatello and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hat.
Which anniversary is that? Is that
7.
like the copper?
Yeah, I'll have to do some Google on there.
As you can tell, my name is Don. Joining Garrett as always.
That's Don. We are the Rankum Podcast. We is the Rankum Podcast.
We is the Rankum Podcast.
That's totally the correct grammar. You talk for a little bit while I find out what.
I was also Googling it. So okay, I'll fill in the time, the dead air
copper.
here.
Why do you know that?
Is it actually copper? I was just picking like a super random kind of like cheap metal.
Nope. Traditional is copper and wool. Modern is desk sets and stationery.
Oh, that's stupid.
It is the copper anniversary. You are a monster. Why do you know that?
Wool and copper.
Yeah.
Next year's bronze. Hey. Third place next year. I wonder at what year, at what anniversary year or marriage year is like the first big milestone. I understand that like, oh, it's our 1 year anniversary. But like, hey,
when people
if you're getting divorced after year 4. And then the next most likely year is year 10 and then 25. And then if you make it to 25, you're dying alone. Or not dying alone, you're dying together. You're just trying to outlive the other person. Like, I'm curious what the statistics would show is the most divorced year in a marriage. That's what I'm trying to figure
question.
out. If you know the answer,
tweet us.
Yeah.
At Rankum Podcast.
Because I'm not Googling that because I could barely
it's like, who knows
ask
what kind
the question out loud, let alone
but then,
put it into Google form.
Right. Who knows what kind of ads you're going to get.
Right.
What kind of ads you're going to get on Facebook after searching. What year of marriage do most people get divorced? Oh, boy. Okay.
Like, I'll have to go into incognito mode to do that. And then my computer's just going to start taking me. I'm going to throw incognito mode for a curveball there. Like, are you just Googling a question?
Wait a second. So as you can tell by today's title of the show, we're going to be spitting out
hot takes, unpopular
opinions. And there are some areas we just won't touch on this podcast.
Yeah. And we have them ranked by what we feel most strongly about.
Yeah. Yeah. What we believe to be the most true of our unpopular opinions.
That's right.
But like we said, there are some areas we will not be wading into.
No.
Because you just can't.
We're trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
We're not trying to incite
an insurrection at the Capitol.
God damn it.
So we will be avoiding topics such as that.
So do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Avocados are overrated. Like, they're fine, but some people have turned avocados into bacon. And it's just not that great.
This isn't on my list, but bacon's a little overrated.
Bacon's a little overrated. Like, it's great, but it's not.
10 years ago when bacon really just started to peak in popularity and you were getting like bacon milkshakes or bacon sundaes at Dairy Queen, I went and got it, but now it went past its peak.
So I went and bought donuts this morning, and there was a gigantic selection of bacon-topped donuts. And you know what? That was the one tray that was full in the bottom left-hand corner of the case. Avocados are overrated. Like, I like them-ish. Not really, actually, if we're being 100% honest. They're just okay.
They're a little...
But if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't start my day unless I've got my avocado toast. Like, okay, that's enough out of you. We don't have to be friends.
So this one isn't on my list, but I agree with you in that it's overrated. But they don't necessarily taste good. Guacamole's okay, but they're too, like, avocados.
I have a coworker that's
they're too slimy.
That he's like, oh, it's the greatest. It's the one fruit that's got fat in it. Well, I don't particularly care about that.
Right.
Like, I get plenty of fat in other places. Let me tell you.
Like I think it's too.
Texture's not great.
It gives me
mouthfeel is
no. It gives me the feeling that I'm like eating a raw egg, like an egg yolk in my mouth.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily.
No
I don't necessarily enjoy that. I think you're right. So thank you.
But now you put a little avocado on a salad every once in a while. That's not bad.
Right, you mix it up in there. Okay, fine.
But I don't want an avocado on my salad every time I have one. Did I say avocado?
It's fine.
Avocado.
I do know someone who dressed their kid up as an avocado for trick or treat, and then posted on Facebook. Look, he's a guacamole. No, he's not. That is an avocado. They are two different things. So that's my number 5. Avocados, overrated.
Okay. That's not like a super hot take, but that is an unpopular opinion.
It's an unpopular opinion because people love avocado. They're bonkers for them.
Right. So on mine, I would rather it be 0 degrees outside than 100 degrees in Ohio, where we live.
I agree that it is much easier to go from cold to warm than it is to go from hot to
so
comfortable.
There are only so many clothes that I can take off to make 100 degrees manageable, especially when it's 90% humidity and you're just pouring sweat as soon as you walk out the door. But I can keep putting more clothes on, and then a blanket, and then another pair of shoes. I got double shoes.
You ever had double shoes? No, but I could.
You know, like those like waiter boots or the plastic boots. Throw those on over your shoes. Get a little warm on there. Put some thermal socks on over your shoes.
You're also built for cold climates.
Right.
And the beard helps with the cold.
So that's the only reason I haven't shaved and got a haircut recently is because outside it's cold.
Right, it's winter.
Usually I almost always every winter, like I'll have long hair all the way through the fall, and then I'll cut it, and then it snows, and it's like 10 degrees the next week. I'm like, well, this was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Now, I plan on getting a haircut maybe next week, hopefully. But that's just because that's why I got the hat on. It's a little out of control right now.
Yeah, it's a little long.
So I would rather it be cold than hot. Unbearably cold, I prefer to unbearably hot. I don't get sunburned when it's 0 degrees.
I thought you were saying I don't get sunburned, and I was like, Don.
But
Don, I have seen the blisters on your face.
Yeah.
Like,
blisters on my face, blisters
April.
on my back.
Like,
Yeah.
I've seen the blisters on your face in April. You get sunburned. All right, so that's Don's number 5, scorching hot,
really?
Or ice cold.
Ice cold.
Oh,
cold take.
Cold take. My number 4 is you might not know who this is. Kane Brown is not attractive. Kane Brown is a
Is he the one who has more apology videos than he does?
No, that's
hits?
Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
He's also not attractive. Kane Brown is a country music singer.
Oh, no, he's not.
He is not attractive in the slightest. I know you just Googled him, and women find him unbelievably attractive, and he is not at all. His smile is awful.
Yeah.
It's just not
He reminds
good.
me of somebody else that's slightly famous, and I can't think of who he is.
Well, they're probably not attractive.
No, they're not.
It's just not good at all. I'm also not a gigantic...
In the picture where he's not smiling, he's not bad looking, but he's not good looking. Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, this is Kane Brown. It's just not good. And women just find him unbelievably attractive, and I don't get it for a second. Because usually, like, I have no problem. Like, is George Clooney an attractive man? Hell yes, he's an attractive man. Is Sam Hunt, who's another country singer, is he attractive? Yes. Is Kane Brown? No. Not at all. I'm also not a gigantic tattoo person. If that's your bag, that's your bag. I don't think it adds anything to him to make him more attractive. He's just not a good-looking dude at all.
He looks like a weirder Patrick Mahomes.
Kind of. But if that dude was a garbage man instead of a country music superstar,
right,
no one would find him attractive. You wouldn't be like, oh, my God, have you seen that guy that's dropping off the mail in our mailbox? No. Why do you think he's attractive? I don't know.
Oh, did you see our Uber driver? He's super hot.
Right. He's just not attractive. So that's my number 4.
So on top of that, I was talking to a person of the opposite sex yesterday, and randomly brought up Pete Davidson. She's like, "Oh my God, he's so hot." I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah. See, I think people who think Pete Davidson are the ones with the unpopular opinion. That's not
right.
No, he's got butthole eyes.
Like, I like Pete Davidson. He's really funny, but he's got gray skin and, like you said, butthole eyes.
He looks like a zombie that hasn't completely zombified yet. It's just icky. No. So that's my number 4. Is Kane Brown is not attractive.
Gotcha.
His music's not very good either, but
I don't even know any of his music. Let me look up his first thing that pulls up when I look him up. Let me see his first song. Worship You.
Oh, it's so terrible. It was playing on Alexa when I got home last night, and I usually don't mind any music producer Ashley listens to, but that was like, oh my gosh, why are you so whiny?
I'll have to
He's got a deeper voice, and it's like his voice is good, his music is bad.
Gotcha.
So I'm just spitting fire over here now.
So my number 4. Menus at Mexican restaurants are way too confusing. I don't know, and I think it's just because there's nothing that breaks up the menu. It's just a wall of text
1 through
for
38
4 pages.
1 through 38, and it's like 5 different combinations of the same.
Hey, this is the King Burrito, written in 12 font Times New Roman. Written underneath of it in 11 font Times New Roman is everything that's in it. But I don't understand. It's like, what's the difference between... And this is a little bit on my end. I don't particularly like Mexican food. I will eat a burrito. I will eat a taco. That is the extent of my Mexican... I don't know
but
what...
you would like Chipotle because you get, like, you just...
I can see it, and I was
right,
like,
you decide, I want
lettuce,
this,
tomato.
and go right down the line and make sure they don't screw it up.
But when I'm reading a Mexican menu, and it's like, oh, this is... You get either beef, chicken, or steak. Got it. Lettuce, tomato, onion. Okay, I'm following you so far. What's carne asada? I think it's like pig.
It's steak.
Oh, it's like, but prepared a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
carnitas or...
Yeah, I don't know what carnitas are.
Pork.
I don't really know what
pico de gallo is.
I know it's beak of the rooster, I believe is what pico de gallo means in Spanish.
Gotcha.
But it's a bunch of these words that I just can't picture all of that stuff together.
I understand.
And it bothers me.
I thought,
and I don't really know what a tamale is. Like, do I eat the hard corn husk that it's in? Do I not? Why is it steamed? What's a fajita? Like, if
I believe it's pronounced fajitas.
Oh, you're right.
Fajitas.
So when I see that, like a Taco Bell menu, they have pictures next to everything. And usually when I go to a regular Mexican restaurant, I get something that has a picture next to it because I'm like, that looks like a burrito. It doesn't say burrito, but that looks like a burrito. Give me this picture. And then you get it, and it's like 8 pounds of flour tortilla. But no, Mexican restaurant menus just confuse the absolute hell out of me.
See, I thought you were going with like...
And I end up staring at them for 20 minutes. The waiter comes twice, refills my margarita, and is like, do you guys still know what you want? I'm like, no, you guys order, and I'll go from there. And what do I get? The burrito that I saw right away, but I tried to expand my horizons, but after the 18th time of reading chicken, beef, or steak, and then reading just different combinations of the same 4 ingredients.
Yeah, that's
but with a different sauce. Like, what's a tamale? Like, I understand what a tamale should be. It's like a small burrito with like red sauce poured on top of it.
Yeah, so it's like cornmeal instead of a tortilla, wrapped up in a corn husk and then steamed.
Yeah, what's a chimichanga? Is that just a baby burrito?
But deep fried, I think.
how big are these tacos that I'm getting into?
That's the like. Okay,
are these refried beans inside of the taco or on the side? I don't know. Show me a picture so that I know what I'm getting into. And I don't want to read your college dissertation on your Mexican restaurant menu.
I thought you were going with like every Mexican restaurant you open it, it's got like combos 1 through 40.
Right.
Like number 1 is taco, burrito, enchilada. Number 2 is like enchilada, burrito, chimichanga.
What is an enchilada?
An enchilada is basically it's the same.
Also
thing as
a mini burrito.
pretty much.
Like, why don't you just have?
Why don't you just have one mini burrito?
It's like we've got regular burritos, jumbo burritos, skinny burritos, short burritos. I mean, that's all these different things are, and then it just depends on what kind of cheese and what kind of sauce we pour over the top of them.
Pretty much. Yes.
Well, just tell me, burrito with red sauce, and it's also shorter than a normal burrito. Thank you.
You feel pretty strongly about that.
Like, it confuses me, and people judge me when we go out to Mexican, and I don't know what to order, and I'm sitting there for 20 minutes, and then I listen to everybody else's order, and the guy's looking at me, and I'm like, oh, shit, I wasn't actually paying attention to what you said. Burrito. Which burrito? Burrito, steak. One more margarita, please.
Well, you just fill up on chips, hoping that you actually might like that burrito. Like you're like,
I'll eat these
chips.
And I need more chips because that's what I'm going to eat all the stuff that falls out of my burrito with.
That was the most enjoyable diatribe you have given. The most enjoyable for me diatribe you have given.
Without really being angry about something.
You're just like, I don't know what's going on. You're just straight up just kind of telling on yourself. Like, I don't know what any of those words mean. And at this point, I'm 31 years old. I'm too afraid
I'm not going to learn them.
I'm not going to look at a waiter that you're not 100% sure really understands the entire menu themselves and be like, I don't know what the chimichanga is. Like, yeah, like your guess is as good as mine, big guy.
Like when we go out to eat, like to a Mexican restaurant and go with Marcus, I'm like, Marcus, order me what you think I would like.
You know what I don't like.
Yeah, you want a number 12. I'm like, that sounds perfect.
I have a coworker who would just be like, give me a number 16. He's like, because I'm going to like, he's like, it's basically ground beef, cheese, lettuce, in some sort of tortilla or on top of a tortilla. Right. Like, I'm going to like it. So that's fine.
What's the stuff? Is it fajitas that they bring out and you have to like make your own, like on that hot platter?
Yes.
I don't like that. Why am I doing half of your job? Why am I paying $1 more than a burrito than like the tacos cost so that I can put it on myself?
That's a great question, Tom. So don't be doing Mexican.
And that's why whenever people ask, like if we all go out as a group, they're like, let's go to Mexican. And I'm like, I hate Mexican because I just feel so awkward for 20 minutes, and then I get my food, and it's a surprise. I ordered a burrito, but
is
it a burrito that I had last time? Is it one just like the Mexican restaurant in Bern? I don't know. I liked that one, but none of these words match up with the words that they had at their restaurant.
Thank you for this.
Then every girl you go on a date with is like, oh, I like Mexican food. I'm like, well, shit, I guess we're eating Mexican. I'm going to look like an idiot in front of you. So if you could make, I need a children's menu at the Mexican restaurant for me. Pictures, please.
Sounds like chicken fingers.
Right. Let me get some tendies.
Chicken tendies and mac and cheese, please. And that date's just staring at you like you're some sort of monster. Thank you for that, Don.
You're welcome.
I'm afraid what your 3 through 1 is if you're that hot on 4.
So that I got a lot stronger about that. That should probably be higher on my list than what it ended up being.
Yeah.
But once I started talking, I think I found out how passionate I was about it. These are all words that I've never said out loud that I've just let sit in my head.
This is Mexican restaurant therapy for Don right now. So my number 3, which I don't even know how I'm going to compete with it. The overwhelming majority of people wearing skinny jeans should not be.
I'm going to interject, and I feel like I do this on every single one of yours. Yoga pants are the same.
Yes.
Now you can go.
No, so skinny jeans in the news right now because Gen Z's telling millennials, yo, that's not in style anymore. Like, you look old. And so millennials are taken that to heart. And you know what? I'm kind of with Gen Z with like 85% of people who are wearing skinny jeans.
I don't like high-waisted.
I don't either.
But like,
if you've got any semblance of a fupa, it ain't good.
So you and I both are on the TikTok.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that we're both in the same area of TikTok.
Yeah.
In that I'm in like very old Gen Z. So like when I see dances, they're already not popular with kids and they're doing new dances or new stuff like that because people that I follow and people that are my age are now doing them.
Yes. So when 31-year-old people are doing that dance, like, that ain't cool anymore.
Right. And I brought it up with my niece Autumn. It's like, hey, we should do one of these TikToks. And she's like, that hasn't been a thing for like a month and a half.
And you're like, it's every video I see. Like, exactly.
But the one video that I've seen on TikTok that was like, skinny jeans are out. If you don't part your hair in the middle, like that's how, like things that old people do.
Wear skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans, part their hair on the side and not in the middle.
And cry face emojis.
And the cry laughing.
Cry laughing.
If I go into my phone.
it is number one.
Number one and number two. Well, you know, apart from like eggplant. Eggplant's pretty popular on mine. Eggplant and the water squirt emoji. And then also probably the peach. But the crying laughing face and then the slanted crying laughing face are probably two of my top five.
Top five.
And I do them in tandem, so that's like like it's lying, crafting, and rolling. To really signify that
you're really ROFLing.
I'm raffle stomping on this text message. I didn't mean to hijack your thing again.
That's hilarious. But you're right. I don't have the eggplant water squirt peach, but it's either the laugh cry emoji or thumbs up are the two that I use the most. And when Gen Z comes just barreling in hot with those hot takes, it does make me feel old. But it's okay to not wear skinny jeans. Like there are some trends that you don't have to be on.
Oh.
Like every mildly attractive girl that has the black leggings and a jean jacket when they go out on a date. You don't have to do that.
So currently the most used emojis in my text message app are obviously diamond hands.
Oh, right.
I've been spamming
naturally.
diamond hands for a month now.
Hey, Don, what time will you be over tomorrow? Diamond hands. Like, okay, great, thanks.
And then I've got peach, eggplant, and then both of the crying, laughing emojis. I'm going to use our text message, but I'm going to cover up our last couple texts because those aren't appropriate.
So if you're watching on the YouTubes, you can see Don's
most used diamond hands, eggplant, peach, lying, crafting, laughing, crying.
Oh, our conversations are not
right. Where I asked you yesterday, hey, what do you want to record tomorrow? And you said a podcast, and I said I was thinking of porno, and you said, oh, I like that idea better.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Oh my goodness.
But on my phone, it also shows your number.
Oh well, it's all right if they have it.
Oh,
no, just kidding.
Oh.
So number 3 for me. The vast majority of people that are wearing skinny jeans are not skinny enough to be wearing skinny jeans.
No.
So that's mine.
And haven't been for some time.
Yeah, and you're just holding on, and it's all right to let go. It's all right.
Yeah, I had a shirt in my closet that I've worn at minimum once every 2 weeks for the last 8 years. I got rid of that shirt. It just doesn't do it anymore.
Is it that purple LeBron shirt?
Yes. So that shirt was my airplane shirt because it was just so freaking comfortable. But now the collar is complete. The collar is completely frayed on it. There's holes and so I have it, but it's my lounging around shirt. But it no longer makes an appearance in public.
Right. I was gonna say I'm not even gonna go pump gas with this shirt on. You're like, well,
under a sweatshirt, I will wear that. I will wear that shirt. But if I'm driving, like if I drive to Reese's, I might throw that shirt on.
That's fair.
It's a nice, comfy shirt. But it's really close to its last legs. Like you can see through in a couple different parts on it where like it's worn through.
So that's my number 3.
Your number 3.
Yes.
Skinny jeans. You shouldn't be wearing.
Are for skinny people. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just like Calvin Klein.
Yeah, Abercrombie.
Yeah, that's the one. Abercrombie.
We don't make our clothes past extra large. Well, why not? You know why. You know why. Because fat people are not pretty.
That's the CEO of...
That's the CEO of Abercrombie, not me. I love you, you heifers.
So, my number 3. Coffee smells better than it tastes. And coffee tastes like dog shit. Coffee is bad. And, like, the only time I will drink coffee, the 3 times a year that I drink coffee, is as a way that I can justify putting sugar in milk. Like, when I make a coffee, it's maybe half a cup of coffee, splash of milk,
boatload of
sugar.
Mix it up to get it even palatable.
Right. Like, I want it closer to resembling water than coffee by the time I actually...
But it's not socially acceptable to just inject caffeine into your veins. So
well, no, it is. Like, everybody... like, that's all you hear from people.
What do you do?
Don't even talk to me until I have my coffee. Shut up. You're judging me for going to the bar 2 nights a week, but
don't talk to me until
you're addicted to caffeine.
Yeah,
you have to drink 8 cups of coffee a day
to even be a somewhat bearable human being.
Right,
and you're failing at that.
Right. No, trust me, I don't want to talk to you after you've had your coffee either. You stupid bitch. But I think
I have a very similar one of those in my honorable mention. The
coffee, I feel like was supposed to be like, it got popular as a meme, like with the younger generation. They were like, "Oh, look at me, I'm drinking coffee," and then they were just like,
and then they're addicted.
Now they're addicted to it.
They're like, "Oh gosh,
just drink
Mountain Dew like a normal person.
Drink a Monster like a normal person."
Drink a Red Bull at 6:30 in the morning,
right,
like a normal person, and go on about your day.
And you know what? After I drink a Red Bull, I don't have to shit 10 minutes later.
I've never had that. I don't drink coffee either, really. I'll have an iced coffee probably 3 times a year, 4 times a year.
I fuck with hot coffee, hot chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Now, is that very childish of me?
No.
Yes.
No.
But
maybe
if you offer me coffee and hot chocolate every time.
I don't think that's hot. It might be actually probably is. That's a little hot. And we're just the weirdos. Spent the majority of my life that way though.
Yeah. So what did you have in your honorable mention? Did you want to say it?
Yeah, and it was similar to your number 5, and that the idea of summer is much more enjoyable than actual summer.
Yeah.
At least in Western Ohio. Like, it's 21 degrees outside right now. Would I enjoy it being 85 right now? Yes. Until it's 85, right. I'm like, God, it's hot outside.
I wish it would be 70.
Right. It's always like
I've looked up the weather in Ireland year round, and it like mostly ranges from like 65 to 73. I'm like, that's the weather that was made for me.
Yeah, I need like a solid 65 to 75. Anything
with
above
a
75
breeze.
is hot.
With
Yeah,
a slight breeze
5 mile an hour
75.
breeze. Yeah, that is chef's kiss. But the idea of summer
is better than summer.
Now
we say all of this, and I'm in a sweatshirt and winter coats, but I'm wearing the sweatshirt not really because it's cold in here, but just because I just got it.
It looks
diamond hands to the moon.
$GME. But so that's one of my honorable.
I thought that you said that you had an honorable mention similar to the coffee one. That's why.
Well, so like you're basically saying the idea of coffee is better than actual coffee. The smell of coffee is better than drinking coffee.
Right.
But
and
also
the smell isn't that great for me. It
doesn't smell good.
So my number 3 was that. Your number 2.
Friends ain't funny.
Oh, the TV show?
TV show Friends ain't funny.
Okay.
It's not it's like I enjoy it for the erect nipples. But otherwise, it ain't funny.
Nobody wore bras in the late 90s.
Apparently.
And that studio was cold.
According to Jennifer Aniston, that studio was cold. It's just not funny. It's I don't know that there's a network TV show that ever has been funny. If it's on ABC,
2.5 Men wasn't funny.
If it's on ABC, CBS, NBC, or Fox, it ain't funny.
Yeah, USA.
Well, Psych's on USA.
I know.
No, also you're saying if it's got to be on USA to be fun.
I don't know what Scrubs was on.
Scrubs was on NBC.
Oh yeah,
Scrubs is funny, I guess. But
yeah, I don't know if I can think of a network. Well, Full House was.
It's not.
It wasn't really funny. It was good.
Funny. It's not funny.
I liked it, but I guess it wasn't particularly laugh out loud funny.
It's not funny.
I never watched Fuller House either.
It's not funny. Friends is not funny. It's laugh track garbage that is.
I like Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory is horribly unfunny.
Once you made me aware that there's a laugh track on it, it really, that was all I could think about. Because you'd hear the same person like laugh.
And then you're like,
and then later in that
laugh.
episode, you'd hear that same laugh and be like, no.
Yeah. It's just, and people love Friends. Like, they just inject it into that vein on top of their penis. And we'll believe that. People think it's great.
I like Friends.
And
but
just
it's not like
rewatch it. It's the 9th time I'm rewatching Friends. It's not even remotely funny. How is it funny the 9th time you're watching it?
The Office is funny at some times, but it was more cringy than funny.
I don't particularly like The Office.
That's fine. I didn't really either. It's not.
It's okay.
It's not.
It's
as
fine,
good.
but it's not as good as everybody makes it out to be.
No, and girls out there, liking The Office is not a character trait on your Tinder profiles.
It's not part of your personality,
right?
We're just throwing everybody into the. So that's my number 2.
That being said, I think I referenced Psych in my Tinder profile.
Can I see your Tinder profile?
Oh, we'll have to see. We'll save that for the post show.
Okay,
and then we'll get some ideas from people on there. But I think it says like I binge watch Psych, like other people binge watch The Office.
Oh,
sometimes it works out pretty good. And at that point, you already know that's usually what they reference. And they're like, I love Psych.
And you're like, would you like D's nuts? Or do you have any decorum whatsoever?
So right now, my Tinder profile just says, you heard about Pluto? That's messed up, right? And that's a quote from Psych. It used to be, I don't know if I send you the screenshot of it. We'll talk about it in the post show.
Okay.
So stick around for that if you want to.
We'll go through Don's Tinder profile.
If you want to think if you want to find out what I think is funny. But not many other people do, apparently.
So Friends ain't funny is my number 2. Your number 2.
I just keep hijacking all of yours.
No, I appreciate it.
So my number 2, I almost read my number 1 because I have unpopular opinions at the top, so I need to delete that. My number 1 was just about to be the 2 words unpopular opinions.
My number 1 is unpopular opinions are stupid. Oh, okay, all right.
My number 1 is that I'm a hypocrite, and I love all the things that I talked about.
Number 1, I hate lists.
So my number 2 is that it's okay to hate someone. Everybody wants to make it very, like when I hate someone, everybody's like, "Why do you hate them? Is it because they're different from you? Is it because they're a different color?" No, I hate him because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to hate someone. Like, and then you can't say hate. That's a bad word.
Right, you get the hate's a strong word. I know, that's why I used it.
Right. Like, it's like, I didn't say that I disliked them or that
they mildly inconvenience me.
I hate them with every piece of my being.
Yeah.
I want all the bad things in this world to only happen to them.
And then once they die, it's okay to still hate that person.
Yeah. Like there are people, well, I don't. Yeah, there are people who are dead that probably deserve to be hated.
Yeah.
Like everybody hates Hitler, and
right.
that's widely accepted. Why isn't it
be
okay that I hate this other person who's dead? It's like I hated him when he's alive. Just because he's dead doesn't mean I don't hate him.
Right, doesn't mean I got a new perspective.
I think that is going to be
they had a family.
That's going to. I don't hate their family.
Right. I feel bad that they're sad.
Right.
But I still hate that person.
I mean, I'm not particularly glad that they're dead. Like that.
Right.
That didn't make my day when I heard that.
Right. But.
Right. See, I think this is this little snippet right here is what's going to get us in trouble with people.
No, I'm not gonna.
Oh, your number 1's going to get us in trouble?
No. My number 1 will get us in trouble with producer Ashley.
Oh, you hate Ashley.
I have told
I
her.
hate people who are married to me
I have
and
told
pet
her,
my dog when I went to pet my dog. You bitch.
I have told her, I love you. But very rarely do I like you. And that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? Once that comes out of your mouth, that feels pretty bad. I'm sorry about that, honey. Love you. Love you.
Like you.
Right. And she is very receptive to the idea that when I tell her, like, I like you. And she's like, oh, my gosh, thank you. Like, she knows I love her.
Right.
Sometimes I don't like her. And I give her a ton of credit because I'm very difficult to even like.
True.
So she probably doesn't like me all that much.
Well, there's a reason that you and I have about 6 friends that we talk to.
Yeah.
And each of us are one of the others.
Yeah.
Like we and almost all of it overlaps too. Almost all of our friends overlap.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm friendly with a bunch of people, but I hang out with 6 people on the
I spend
regular.
legitimate time with these people. So before we do our honorable mentions in our number ones, let's hear from one of our sponsors. And
hopefully it actually works this time.
You're a dick. I was just going to say, and hopefully we'll actually hear from them this time. All right, so time for our honorable mentions for our unpopular opinions. I have given one of the idea of summer is much more enjoyable than actual summer. That is one.
And I think that's a thing as an adult. Like, I think summer was better when we were kids and, you didn't have school or work
you had
or anything
no responsibilities.
like that. I think that, and then we just hold on to the idea of summer as adults, and then you're just kind of like, summer fucking sucks. It's hot out here. I'm still working.
Right, and I got to mow the yard twice a week.
I get to go out. Yeah, I'm having a bonfire on Wednesday night, but I have to be home at 9:30 so because everybody else is going to bed, and I got to be up for work at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it does suck.
And then your weekends matter because it's like, well, Friday night I'm doing a bonfire, then I'm going to the bar on Saturday night, and then you're hungover all day on Sunday.
And you're crap at work on Monday because you didn't do anything all Sunday because your brain hurt. But then you got to cram everything into those weekends in the summer because you can't do anything outside from November to March. So summer's not that great. That's one of my honorable mentions. Do you have just one?
I got 2.
Okay, you give me one of yours.
So one of mine is, if I give my money to a homeless person, I am fine with that homeless person going and buying alcohol or cigarettes or food or drugs for all I matter. Like, if I'm giving you $5, go spend that $5 on whatever you want. I don't want to watch you. I don't want to take a picture with you and then watch you walk into a sub shop to get food. Go spend that $5 on whatever you want to spend that $5 on.
There are those who say,
and I respect the hustle of the people in New York that are making like $80,000 a year on handouts for people.
Yeah. But there are those who are like, well, they're just lying. They're just going to go buy drugs with it. Well, you know what? That says more about their character than it does me. If I could help them and I don't, I'm a pretty bad person. If they're lying, well, that says something about them.
And
so I'm on board with that one. I think you're dead on.
So that's one of mine.
Babies are ugly.
All babies are ugly?
Not all babies are ugly.
Some babies are ugly.
Most babies.
Some of you listening to this
have ugly babies.
Your babies are ugly.
Yeah.
They told you that baby was really cute.
That's the cutest baby I ever done seen.
And in your brain, you think that baby's cute because
it's half you.
Right. And I don't know if genetically is the right word, but in your brain tricks you into thinking that your baby isn't ugly because it wants you to take care of it. Same reason that little puppies, little dogs, and little cats have big eyes and all that stuff because they want to trick you into thinking that they're like human babies. So that's why when dogs are small, they share similar traits with people. That was a psychology paper that I read one time, gotcha. probably on Reddit. Whereas like small animals have these big eyes and stuff like that so that they can gain your trust so that you don't murder them.
Right.
But your kids are ugly. Yeah. They're not that talented.
No, they're not that interesting.
No, they're not interesting.
And like, I'm glad that you're happy with them. Like, my friends who are like, oh, my kids are great. Like, I'm glad that you think that.
I'm glad that you think your kids are great.
But
your kid's not doing anything that this other kid isn't doing.
Right.
Is it doing it 3 months earlier? Yes.
Congrats.
But they're both going to graduate in May of 2035. That's a random year, so don't do the math if you're a listener thinking, my kid's graduating
my
in
kid's in the class of
2035.
2035. Like, why do you know that, first of all? But when your baby was born, it was covered in blood and cottage cheese. And I don't necessarily need to see that picture.
Right. And I think that my nieces and nephews are super great and everything like that. They're not. They're not any better than any other kids.
And
I mean,
that's okay.
They're better than some other kids.
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
But they're not like better than every other kid.
Like if
you got a Gerber's baby, your baby's probably better than
I
a
was
bunch
say,
of other kids.
If Gloria James is listening to this podcast, yes, your son LeBron is outstanding, and you should be as proud as possible.
Right.
But kid I went to high school with, your baby is not that cute or talented or
right.
whatever.
Your baby's going to go and do something that's not that sensational and have another baby that's not that sensational.
And that's fine.
Right. Well, that's 99.9% of the world.
Right. So can I give my
and someone else listening, your baby might cure cancer.
So is my other baby opinion, is that too far for this podcast? Or
I'm trying to remember what your other baby opinion was.
Lasagna.
Fuck it. We're all the way in now. Do you want to save it for the reaction show?
No.
Okay.
Babies aren't miracles. Okay? It's 2 ingredients. It's 2 ingredients. And it's an activity that 90% of men enjoy doing to get them there.
Yeah.
That's not a miracle. It is harder to make a lasagna than a baby. My cousin Megan has 3 kids. I promise you she's never made 3 lasagnas. I promise you. She has not made 3 lasagnas in her life. She's accomplished 3 babies. She hasn't made 3 lasagnas.
And also, like, this isn't a negative thing against babies or anything like that. It's just
it's your opinion on babies.
Right.
Like you think like it's a miracle. No, it's not. It's 2 ingredients. And babies are the opposite of lasagnas. The more ingredients you put in a lasagna, the better it gets. If you had, those 2 ingredients to make a baby and meth, the baby gets worse.
What if you had cheese?
Cheese, worse. Alcohol, worse. Cigarettes, worse. The babies are just those 2 ingredients. Anything else you add to it, not going to go well.
Well, we were talking about this before when we weren't going to say this. But there are roughly, according to science, there are roughly 7 billion current and former babies
on the planet. It is not a miracle.
Now, there's a bunch of science stuff that goes into it that I don't understand. But
when you boil it all down, it's 2 ingredients.
Like the first couple babies, miracles.
Yes. And now we've got it down pretty good.
Yeah.
7 billion current or former babies walking this earth.
Or crawling.
Laying on their backs on this earth. So babies are ugly, and they're not that difficult to make.
I mean, raising a baby to like adulthood, that's the miracle.
Right. Like my mom not strangling me at some point.
Yeah.
Is the miracle. Now, I'm not like I understand that there are fertility issues or whatever. I guess I'm being a little insensitive to those.
Every baby, every single baby is not a miracle.
Correct. So
some babies are miracles. Jesus was a miracle. I think technically.
Yeah.
Do you believe it?
So those are those are my honorable mentions. You got one more.
Like all 8 I guess all 8 of the kids all the octa kids. That was more of a science.
Yeah, that was more of an experiment gone wrong than.
So
that's basically the Spider-Man version of babies. Or X-Men.
There you go.
Spider-Man was just an accident at a field trip.
Nice. You know things.
Yeah.
So my other honorable mention, I really didn't see this episode kind of taking the hot take parade that it took. We intentionally left things off of here that this is going to be way too controversial.
We're not getting that crazy. But here we are. No.
Okay. And this one's unpopular-ish. schools, like high school, should teach actual life skills. I don't think I have one time ever had to know the Pythagorean theorem in my life. But you know what I have had to know? How to do my taxes. And I don't know how, so I pay someone else to do it for something that I could have been taught. Would I have retained it? Would I have paid attention? No. But somebody in my class would have, as opposed to probably nobody in my class actually retaining it from high school and not learning it later on in life. I know that you do your taxes, but you don't know how to do that because of high school.
See, I hate the teacher, but we learned how to do taxes in our FFA classes in high school.
Oh.
We did 1040 Easies and filled all that stuff out. So, am I glad that we did that? No. I would have figured it out on my own. I buck that. We should teach life skills, and because 80% of people around here are, the government shouldn't be in my business. They shouldn't be raising my kids. But then they're like, why ain't the government raising my kids? Like, well, hold on. It's got to be. Well, I think got to be some middle ground.
I don't know anything about the stock market.
Obviously, by your shirt.
But I would like to have been
low blow.
I mean, we did the stock market game in junior high, but all I did was spend $10,000 on penny stocks until I became until I had controlling interest in that company. I was like, I feel like I win it. I have 51% of this company listed on the NYSE.
And that was more about like making money rather than like here's how you invest
works.
And here's how the system is rigged against middle class and poor people. And, you didn't get into that stuff.
Right. And
here's how Robin Hood can screw you over.
I think that there should have been like a better selection of electives. And I understand that like schools are underfunded and like teachers are teaching more kids than they should be teaching, and
we're getting into a whole
they're cutting funding, but regardless, I think that there should be actual life skills. And I get that you can go to like a trade school like Vantage or something like that and be like learn how to weld in high school, but I want to
know real life skills,
right?
Not career skills, if that makes sense. I don't want to find out that I enjoy welding. I want to know, how in the fuck am I supposed to buy a house someday? Like, how does that process even work?
Like
I don't know.
We talked about it on the podcast last week. It's like, what exactly is an annuity? Is it an annual payment? That's what I'm assuming what it is, but I feel like I should know 100%. And can I Google annuity? Yes.
Sure, but is it going to give me like the legal definition, and is that going to help me at all?
I can take the root word of annuity and figure out that it's something annual. So am I getting paid annually? Am I paying someone else? I'm assuming I'm getting paid because I want the cash now. Right. It's my money, and I want it now.
Call J.G. Wentworth.
Like what happens when I take a second mortgage out on my house? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
I have no idea.
People are doing it all the time, and I don't think they know what it means.
Yeah,
and this is stuff that
but then
I would have liked to have known. I don't need to know. Some people need to know what the Pythagorean theorem is.
Sure, math teachers.
But those right. But those people would probably elect to take. They probably know. Hey, I really like maths class. I'm going to take another maths class instead of taking How to Do Taxes 101, my junior year elective.
Right.
Now, would I have taken any of those classes? No. I would have taken another gym class.
Right. I would have taken webpage for the second time again, no matter what.
Digital photography.
Right. But
would have, I think.
But you're right in the like.
Maybe they should just have a whole life skills class where they just teach you taxes, stock market. Here's what a mortgage is. Here's what a second mortgage is. Here's what happens when you go bankrupt and you file Chapter 8. Here's what, like
I wish somebody, and this is in hindsight, I wish somebody had said,
you don't have to go to college.
Right. Hey, maybe don't take out all that money to go to college. Like that.
If you really don't know what you want to do,
right, that might not be a great idea. Right.
But instead, all we heard were horror stories. If you don't go to college,
you're going to be on welfare and eating peanut butter sandwiches for the rest of your life with your 14 kids, because those are the only people that have a lot of kids is poor people. Like, what? What?
Right. So
if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you're a piece of shit. Like, oh, okay, well, I better go to college then.
If you don't have a degree, you're never going to get hired. Well, that's not. I mean, that's true.
You're going to be
some
flipping
jobs,
burgers.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
You're going to make minimum wage at $3.30 whatever we were in high school, whatever minimum wage was back then.
$6.15, I think, $5.15.
I didn't have a job in high school, so I don't know what that was.
We had a friend that called that girl 514. That's her nickname because she was below minimum wage, and I hope she's doing well. Because we were mean to her. I mean, I wasn't that mean to her. I didn't call her that.
I don't even know who that is, but I wasn't particularly mean to people in high school.
I mean,
I'm sure if you asked someone, I was an asshole to them.
Right.
I don't feel like I was particularly mean to people.
And I mentioned this to a coworker the other day. Of like, was I really mean to like some girls that didn't deserve that at all? Absolutely. Have I apologized to them? No. Should I? Yes.
Well, that's why I live I have a saying that I live my life by, or I used to when I was younger, that was, I refuse to apologize for things that I don't remember.
Oh, I thought you were just going to go Hakuna Matata. I got a motto I live by.
So I don't remember being mean to people.
But I remember being mean to people, and I should very much apologize to
as
them.
an adult, I don't live by that saying anymore.
Well, that's
because I have a
little improvement.
You were really rude to me that day. I was like, I'm sorry. Do I mean that I'm sorry? No, I'm just saying that because that's formalities.
That's what's expected of me.
So yeah, that's our.
Wow,
this is turning into a real podcast and not just us doing lists. So number one.
It feels ridiculous to feel like you can do it. You can go if you like.
I'll go because I feel like yours is like worse than mine.
Oh, mine's dumb compared to everything else we've talked about.
So is mine, really.
I'm sitting here like my number one is ridiculous in comparison to the things we've actually talked about.
So this is one that I've actually said on the podcast before. Nickelback is a good band.
They're all right.
I mean, let's just go.
It became popular to hate them, and so people jumped on that bandwagon.
Like, let's just look through their discography.
Yeah, that's not an easy word to say.
Like, I was saying it right every time I tried to say it, but I was just thinking that.
Am I having a stroke while I say this?
Discography.
Discography.
Photograph.
Look at this graph.
How You Remind Me. Far Away. Rockstar. Burn It to the Ground. If Today Was Your Last Day, Someday, Gotta Be Somebody.
I really enjoy
If Everyone Cared and Nobody Died.
There's a hero to save us, not gonna stand.
This Afternoon was a really good song.
They're okay.
Oh, that's Something in Your Mouth. That's a fucking banger of a song. You look so much cuter with something in your mouth. That's about fellatio.
Thank you. I didn't pick up on that.
Animals. We're just a couple animals.
See, that's what I was thinking was Something in Your Mouth. That's the one the dad finds him in the car in the park or whatever. Right?
They have a lot of really good songs. And then they're doing she shanties on TikTok, which are phenomenal too.
Sea shanties.
Yeah, sea shanties. like summer shanty. But Nickelback is a good band. I will fight you about it. Like, you can put me on that meme. Nickelback is a good band. Change my mind.
Okay.
And that's what I feel strongly about. And I don't get the hate. Like, I get that, like, oh, their songs all sound the same, and he's kind of boring, and
they sound the same. Good.
AC/DC, every AC/DC song is this beat. Right.
We're frail and dirty.
Other than there's one song that's a little different. It's not.
Whole lot of Rosie's a little quicker than that, but that's not horribly popular.
Like every single song is just boom, boom, boom,
boom,
boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom. Yep.
Like you can,
and it's fine. Like it's good.
No, yeah, but you can't.
But it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay because it's AC/DC and not Nickelback.
Right. It can't be the same. It can't be. Well, same sound. Like, okay. All right. I'm with you.
So that's my number one. Honestly, if I had to rearrange my list, I would probably put Mexican restaurant menus at like number 2.
That was oddly passionate at 4.
I wasn't expecting it to be that passionate, but like I said, that was the first time I'd ever outwardly expressed those feelings.
It was Mexican restaurant therapy for down here on the podcast. My number one, and it's fitting that producer Ashley walks in as we do our number one. My number one. And that is that making the bed is absolutely pointless. And I don't understand why people do it.
So I don't make my bed.
I've never made a bed in my life.
Unless somebody's coming over. You know what I mean?
You're right.
But
there is absolutely no point to it. Well, it looks nice. Who's in our bedroom? Who is seeing what our bedroom looks like?
So I think from what I've heard in talking to parents about it that make their kids make the bed is that it's kind of about discipline and a routine.
Well, I can beat their ass twice a day at the same time so they get that discipline and routine.
And then the other thing is that the people who make their beds now, it's just a way to start your day and feel good about yourself. And then when you go to bed, you're getting into like nice, clean, folded or whatever sheets. And I don't get it.
It doesn't make me feel any better.
When I go to a hotel, the first thing I do is rip all the covers off so that I can
tucked up underneath that mattress. No. My feet need to breathe.
So
it doesn't.
I agree with you on that.
It makes absolutely no sense to me. I have no comprehension of why that is something that somebody's. It's basically like, well, my mom made me do it, so by God, you're going to do it. And when you sit down and think about it, there's no point to it whatsoever. I'm literally going to mess it up in 10 to 12 hours.
Right.
You're not mowing your yard every day because it needs done. Like, does it need? Is it
Sometimes
longer?
I mow my lawn just because I want to go outside.
Is it longer today than it was yesterday? Yes. Should I mow it again? No.
You're going to damage your lawn
because that's a dumb thing to do. There's absolutely no point to it. Well, it looks nice. Who is seeing our? Back in the day, before we have a stand-up shower now with a glass door.
Mm-hmm.
Before we had a tub with a shower curtain, and if anybody was coming over, I got to clean the shower. They're coming over for the afternoon. Why are they in our shower?
Like, who goes into another person? Well, I do. I used to. So when we would go to like house parties when we were in college,
right?
I wonder what kind of
meds they got in that cabinet. Who could have guessed Adderall?
My Adderall.
Why?
Wasn't it when we started, but it is now.
Yeah, I don't know anyone named Otis at this house, and why do they have a prescription for them in this cabinet?
Is that expired Xanax?
Why is that here?
Those don't look like aspirin. But yeah,
there's no point in making your bed.
As an adult, it's like digging through other people's bathrooms. It's like,
and if they are digging through a bathroom, I don't particularly want to be their friend.
Right.
If they're like
I
wonder if their shower's clean.
If they come out of the bathroom, they're like, "Hey, you got like rust spots on your fucking shower." Because we use it.
Right. That's where I shower. That's where water comes into my home.
There's dirt in the bottom of it too. I don't know if you looked at that. Our shampoo and soap is only half full.
Yeah.
That loofah, used. Reeks like BO and sweat.
I don't particularly want to be friends with that person if they want to.
Hey, the first half of the roll of that toilet paper covered in shit.
This has been a very enjoyable podcast.
Yeah, no, this was a lot of fun.
It's incredibly long.
Oh, I don't care.
But I enjoyed it. I hope our listeners do too. It was fun.
Yeah, let us know if you want other similar things.
Yeah,
because this was a lot of fun to record, and I feel like it's going to be fun to listen to.
I think so. So you can find Don on Twitter
at Donnie_G.
I am at Garrett Seawright. You can find the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Rankum Podcast. And you can find me on Twitter at Garrett Seawright. Did I already say that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm losing my mind.
I
wash I shampoo my hair probably 3 times a week because I'm in the shower. Like, did I already do this? I don't know. Might as well do it again.
So you only do it 2 or 3 times a week?
No, I do it every day. But
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times a week. I do it twice in the same shower.
I see.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. You can find us on wherever it is you download your podcast. Bye.